Hey students, very warm welcome to all of you in the session. Hope you know your Anubha Ma'am very well. Otherwise, let me introduce myself. This is Anubha Gaur, your chemistry master teacher at Vedantu, and I am hoping for all of your good health and safety, that you all are staying at home and taking care of yourself, and definitely you are studying with Vedantu. Hopefully I'm right. Do let me know in the comment section. Students, you know about this channel that we have started just because all of you are demanding that, ma'am, we are not very much comfortable with Hindi. We need the proper communication in English. That's how we made this channel called as Vedantu 9/10 English channel. Not like English language channel, but mode of communication will be in English. So I hope you all are super excited, because this is the first academic session of Anubha Ma'am in this particular channel. Do let me know. I am super excited and very happy to teach you all. And with what we are starting, this is ICSE 10th, chapter number 1, periodic properties and variations. Don't worry about anything else. Ma'am, what about our syllabus? Can you please speed up the chapters and the number of session in a week? Definitely we'll come up with all the possible things and we'll take care of your syllabus. So just don't worry, stay calm and keep studying with Vedantu. All of your problems are going to get solved. And I wish the same, that all of your problems are and should be solved. And just for that, I really need to discuss some things. Please be there, because in this session, throughout the session, ma'am is going to share some of the interesting facts, some of the very important questions that might be there in your mind but you didn't get the answer. So please stay till the end. Now let's discuss what ma'am needed to tell you, that the problems that you face during this phase of online education, that ma'am, generally what happens with us in general, that our doubts are not getting solved here. What to do? I'm not talking about any particular place. Suppose I'm talking about your school, maybe your physical classrooms or your physical coaching centers where you used to go. And every time you're done with the session and when you come home, when you revise, there are so many problems that occur to you, but there is no one who can tell you what exactly you should do and to take care of those problems. You're reading something. Oops, I don't get this. Oops, I am not able to understand what sir or ma'am were telling at that moment of time. I might miss something. So there must be some medium where your doubts can get solved, right? Where you can get proper notes after each and every session. Like you must be having these kind of issues that, ma'am, I'm not very good in writing the notes. Whenever I try to write, I think that's the best that I can write. But whenever I write that same thing in exam, my teacher is not at all impressed and tell, if you write in this way, you will never get full marks. So is there any mode where we can get all the notes of each and every class and chapter, so that when we write it, there will be no single mark that can be cut from that question? And is there any medium where we can give tests for each and every chapter? With every session we can get the assignment, so that we can have a check on ourselves that yes, every session is super clear to us. And ma'am, competitive exams, we are not able to prepare for all the competitive exams. I am pretty sure there are so many students throughout the India and outside, they didn't even know about some of the competitive exams. When I talk about my time, I didn't know basically what was NTSC. Yeah, not good thing, but yeah, because there was no one who can guide me about the same. Though I gave the paper, and at the time of paper I realized, okay, this is that exam. So I really want all of you should not face the problem and can prepare very well for your competitive exams. NTSC 9th one can prepare for JSTSC, Olympiad you can prepare for, higher level you can prepare for KVPY. So all the competitive exams, there must be a particular place, one-step solution where you can prepare for all the exams. And the most important problem where the students faced maximum issue is choice of schedule. I'm getting so many messages every day that, ma'am, our school program, our school timing and our timing which I am available for class is not matching, and then there are so many problems. My extracurricular classes are matching with the same time, and there are so many clash, and we're like, what to do? I'm not able to do the same. So what if I tell you that the schedule at Vedantu is completely student centric. You can choose your timing, you can choose your slot where you want to study. Just if you inform us that what are the timing that you're comfortable with, we can come up with a better solution. And the best thing that we are doing here also is choice of language. Got to know so many queries from the students. Ma'am English, ma'am Hindi, ma'am English. So we have batches for particular language also. I'm not talking about like French, German, Sanskrit and all, but talking about English and Hindi mode of communication. So all of your problems can get solved with only one solution, with extra bonuses like unlimited live classes in a day. If you're like, ma'am, I have my exam 2 days after and I want to revise particular chapter, you can attend the micro course and you can see the replay of some of the micro course, chapter based course, so that all of your problems can get solved at that moment of time. And see, when you see your result, yay, I did it. And after every session, students, there will be a performance report that will be sent to your email ID, that how you performed throughout the class, how much score you got in terms of all the quizzes, how much active you were throughout the session. And in a way, you'll totally get involved in the session and will definitely get everything. Personalized attention with with the help of all of your master teachers, all of the class teacher which are there to help you out in terms of solving your doubts, and you will feel the change in yourself for sure. And the solution is just 2 steps away. Very first step is you need to copy this link, and when you click on this link, there will be one window that will come up. Just click on the very first option, then they'll ask you to choose your grade. Choose your grade, 10th class, and then choose your target, that is ICSE 2021, and then click on the option that is get subscription. When you will do it, they'll ask that for which course you want to apply for, like 1 month, 3 months and 6 months. That is definitely on the basis what time is left for the exam. 1 month you can say for a trial basis if you really want to see how platform works, with the extra discount, because this situation Vedantu really wanted to help you out and is trying to help you as well. So 2699 with extra discount, but with Anubha Ma'am code, that is AGPRO, you will get the same course with extra discount and you will get it just for 2294. So applying teacher code is very much necessary to get the extra discount. If I talk about 3 months, the course is for 6999 with the discount. After the code AGPRO, teacher code, Anubha Ma'am code, you will get it for 5949. This is the most beneficial one. That's for 6 months. I've seen that there are so many students who enroll for the course, and I'm the one who is teaching ICSE over there also. Very happy, and it's going so well. 6 months, students, the course is just for 11499 after discount. With a teacher code, you will get for 9774, which says hardly you're paying 1629 for a month. 1629 rupees for a month is like nothing, and you're getting everything. It's like maths, SST, English, all the science subject, physics, chemistry, biology, with, as I told you, all the personalized attention. So isn't it awesome? I would love to see so many of you in my session. Do reach out to me if you need any help, and we'll begin the session right now. Hope all the informations are super clear in your mind. What are the learning objective of this class? That ma'am will tell you why order is so much necessary in life, so as in the classification of table, and why do we need to do the same? Why do we need to classify the elements, and how we can study that beautiful modern periodic table, how we reach to that stage. We'll talk about all the evolution, because as I told you, appreciating history is very much important. That gives us this time today. So let's appreciate that, and just make your notes. You can download the PDF also after the session, and let's begin the journey to click on to check all the points in your chapter, and you're like, yes ma'am, we are super clear with all the things that you taught to us. So let's start. Give me a quick high five and we will start the session. All right, my amazing people in the class. So I'm starting this with the very basic question. As ma'am told you, we will talk about so many interesting questions in between. Like, there was a long period of time we were learning the mass of elements absolutely wrong. and how Mendeleev was such a genius and how he evolved the entire table, how he got certain idea, how we got to know the concept of atomic number. So we'll talk about all the possible things. But first of all, I have a question. Why classification of elements was needed? Why? What do you think about the same? You do not need to think that much. Why? I think you know it. It's just easy to understand things when they're organized. It's like I had a list of so much of groceries and so much of personal shopping. Suppose I wanted to buy detergent, soaps, some perfume, shoes, and so many other things. I would prefer to go to a proper shopping market where everything is so arranged and organized. I knew everything is with the label that if you visit here, you will get the soap. If you visit here, you will get the shoes with the proper size marked. If I visit that corner, I will get all of my grocery, all of my ration also. So isn't it amazing when things become so easy to take it? So that's what scientists thought of the same, as our life needs order so that the elements. So that's how that journey started, and let's talk about how they did it. So first of all, who is that scientist who talked about the same, that classification is needed? The name of that scientist is Dobereiner. Dobereiner gave a law called as Dobereiner's law of Triad. But before that also, scientists were like, why? It's just 26 to 28 elements. I don't need to study them with the proper classification. I can easily remember 26 to 28 elements with all the properties given. That these are metals, these are non-metals, that's it. But their theory failed with the talking of metalloids. Metalloids came into the picture, and then they're like, they are non-metals, they are not non-metals, what they are basically. And the entire theory failed at that moment of time. Then Dobereiner is like, why to fear? I am here. I will give you a better approach. You know what? I love a number 3. So I'll give you a kind of a law where all the elements were arranged in such a way in a group of 3 elements. In what way? We will discuss that. Don't worry. And then the one who used to love music a lot and gave the name on the basis of that law of octave that we use in music. Newlands was the name of that scientist, English scientist he was. Mendeleev's periodic table, we'll talk about how genius he was. And one and only, which is so important, the modern periodic table, right? So let's talk about the Dobereiner's triad, students, that why he got the recognition and how he failed also. That's how we move to the next step. So he arranged the elements in a group of 3, triad matlab 3, and how he arranged, let's talk about that. Lithium, sodium, potassium is one of the triad he gave. He told that you should arrange the elements with increasing atomic mass in such a way that the middle element is having average property of first and third as well as average mass of first and third. Here sodium is having average mass of lithium and potassium. I can prove it as well. That's what Dobereiner said. Lithium's mass is 7, and yeah, not a good looking 7. And potassium is 39. So mass of sodium is here 7 plus 39 by 2, 46 by 2, that came as 23 units. That's how he told that the mass of sodium we study 23 units. That means sodium is having average mass of first and third as well as average property. In the same way, as I told you, he used to love number 3. He gave the 3 triads also. The second triad he gave is chlorine, bromine, iodine, Cl, Br and I. Third triad he gave is calcium, strontium and barium. In such a way, again, the middle element must be having average mass and average property, and they are arranged in the increasing order of mass. Somehow a close value, I can't say the exactly same value. 88.5, the exact mass that we study is 88. Close enough. But is there something that he was so correct that we did not need any kind of evolution? Not at all. He was wrong at so many places. First of all, that was applicable only for some elements. When more and more elements started discovering, he failed completely. Even if I talk about this particular triad, that is chlorine, bromine, iodine, if I consider the element like fluorine, chlorine, bromine, he failed here also. If I consider fluorine in the same picture, he failed here also, that the chlorine's mass won't be average of fluorine and bromine at all. The second thing he told is it does not hold good for very low and very high mass elements. That is also like a perfect example that I've given you. The mass of fluorine is very low, mass of bromine is very high. So in these kind of a cases, the middle element can't have the average mass. So the law failed. And the scientist is like, I am done. Now just come and appreciate me and see what can be done next. Okay, so he's like, I'm done. Then this Newland, who was an English scientist, he's like, okay, can I connect my knowledge of music to this beautiful way of arranging the elements? That's how he did. He's like, in music we use octave, right? That octave is what? The combination of all the notes. What they are basically do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. And he said that as every eighth note repeated in the octave in the music, in the same way every eighth element can be repeated. I'll make the picture, I'll make the table like the same. So he arranged the element in such a way that every eighth element is going to have the similar kind of a properties of the first one. And what was the main basis? How he arranged the elements? On the basis of increasing atomic mass. You can say that increasing atomic mass. So it's like hydrogen, lithium. I'm not writing helium because helium was not in the picture at that moment of time. Hydrogen, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. Look at this. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. That means my hydrogen and fluorine is having same kind of a property. After that, sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, potassium, calcium. That's it. So look at this. According to him, the elements which is coming at the 8th position to the previous one, to the first one, is having similar property and somehow arranged in the same group. What are groups? Vertical column. Okay, lithium, sodium, potassium is having same kind of a property, so as my beryllium, magnesium, calcium, but full stop. So it's more of like his drawback also. After that, the law was not having any kind of a significance. Means after that he's like, okay, I made the table in such a way, I made so much of mistakes. He put so many elements in the same slot. He put so many elements in such a way that similar properties elements were so far at each other. Let me tell you how. So just use your brain and see that. Be focused throughout the session. You will get the answer. See the melody given by him. Look at this beautiful picture. Yeah, so this is the table he gave students somehow. And as I told you that he failed, but let's appreciate firstly that what are the merits of his table. He provided, he is the very first scientist who told us that how similar elements, similar in what sense? In kind of its properties, can be arranged together. He is the one basically who gave a very good picture in terms of classification of elements. And what basis? On the basis of particular group, on the basis of introducing this concept of group. Apart from that, periodicity as a property was recognized for the first time. What's periodicity, students? Repetition, okay? It's like I have repetition. In what sense? I have periodic test every month. That means that has to repeat every month. That's what repetition. Repetition here in the term of properties, that they are going to repeat it. Similar properties are going to repeat it after a certain interval. Makes sense, right? But as I told you, he's not the one who is absolutely right. He made mistake. Apart from that, logical based on atomic weight concept also he gave, that there should be an increasing atomic weight the way all the elements are arranged. That is something that is also should be considered. And now, what are the demerits? As I told you, several elements in the same slot. It's like, oh, so he put iron, cobalt and nickel in the same slot. Does it make sense? How can he put all the elements in a same slot? All of the elements are different properties. That means they all are having different properties and he grouped them together. He put it in the same slot also. Apart from that, new elements yet to be discovered could not fit in his table, just like noble gas family. That's what we can understand there was no space where noble gas family, noble gas elements can be arranged without disturbing the whole table. And as I told you, it's just applicable up to calcium. I can say that it's just applicable to lighter elements. Okay, just applicable to lighter elements, only up to calcium it was making sense. And as I told you, discovery of noble gases, whenever it occurred, it could not get its proper position in the entire table. So that's pretty much clear how this table is arranged, what are the kind of drawbacks it has, what are the kind of merits it has. Do let me know, ma'am, it's super clear, and somehow we know it's like brushing up all of our concept. See the love of music. He made the entire table on the basis of notes of music. Isn't it amazing? Okay, students. And now ma'am will tell you who is that scientist who tried to overcome the drawback given by octaves law, that is our Newlands law of octaves. So that comes Mendeleev, and Mendeleev was so awesome scientist. I'll tell you some of the fun fact about his table. First of all, let's understand what kind of a law he gave. On that basis, he arranged all the elements, because at that moment of time, around 68 elements were known. So he told that I'm giving a law, you better understand that. The properties of elements are periodic function of their atomic masses. Means properties of the elements are going to repeat after a certain element, certain interval. On what basis? On the basis of atomic masses. Properties are going to repeat after, I am arranging that in such a way that they are going to repeat after a certain interval, grouped them together on the basis of atomic mass. He told repetition happens due to increase in atomic mass. Some of the elements came together because their properties are going to match. Okay, fine. But can he justify whatever he said? He gave the table, and the fun fact is, Friday evening he reached to his home from the university where he used to teach, and he was thinking about the same, that can I arrange all the elements in such a way that classification of elements, reading all the elements will become easy, because I do not need to study all the elements. If I'm studying them group wise, I'm talking about all of the elements, because in a group somehow properties are going to remain same. He was thinking about the same. He took his one of the wall and he tried to paste all the elements written on the card. He took some card, wrote all the elements, and he started placing them one by one, and he was doing that and he felt asleep. And suddenly all of these elements were in his dream and roaming here and there, and finally he just awake, and by the time he was trying to write it, all the elements, he got the picture how to arrange, and he arranged it beautifully. When he went to his university on Monday, and it's like, I'm done with my work. I did such a good work in my dream. I'm not pretty sure that how true the story is, but that's what the story that I've heard. Okay, students, look at this, how he arranged, what were the actual basis. He arranged the elements in basis of 8 groups. What are groups, students? Groups are the vertical column. Okay, groups are my vertical column. One extra you came, yeah. Vertical columns, and these are called as periods. Periods are the horizontal row, and he gave 7 periods also. 7 periods, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this was the 7. Okay, 7 periods and 8 groups he gave. And not only that, he divided my group into subgroups also. So every group is having some subgroups also. Like first is divided into first A, second A, second B, third A, third B, fourth A, fourth B, seventh A, seventh B, and this is just 8th group. 8th group but having 3 slots, so he made the same mistake again. Okay, like Newland did the same, this he also repeated. And how he wrote all the elements in the same group, when I told that group is going to have similar kind of a property, let me tell you how he did that. Suppose I'm talking about the group 1, hydrogen, lithium, sodium. He arranged in such a way that these elements make the same kind of oxide and hydride. He took that as the actual basis. He took all the elements and he understood that how they are reacting with oxygen and hydrogen, and what kind of a formula they are giving. If all the elements, whoever gave the same formula of oxide and hydride, he grouped them together. So if I talk about students, group number one की अगर मैं बात करूं, so group number one is like having group number one is having a formula of oxide, that is, suppose R I'm considering as any element, R2O, and in terms of hydrogen, that is RH. That's it. You will be wondering, ma'am, how that formula? Students, this is group 1. Group 1 must have valency 1. And oxygen, you know that valency 2, you have to cross multiply. You got the formula R2O, and with hydrogen, formula must be what? 1 valency, cross multiply, you will get RH. In the same way, whoever gave the same oxide and hydride, he grouped them together, and he was so genius that this picture came into his mind that there must be some elements that were not discovered that can take some of the position in my vacant spaces. Why he kept vacant places? Because he was getting that intuition that there must be some element between calcium and titanium. After zinc, there must be some aluminium, must be some element. After titanium, here also, below titanium also, there must be some element that can be discovered. So in what way his table was good? Systematic arrangement. I got to know a better approach that table can be, elements can be classified on the basis of group, on the basis of period, vertical column, horizontal row, a systematic study. Apart from that, some vacant places for newly discovered elements. That is such a good point. But he failed like at so many times. We'll talk about that. So I hope this part is clear. He left some blank spaces for the elements to be discovered. And you know what kind of a name he gave to it? This is called as Eka boron, B for boron, okay? This is Eka boron. Eka is a Sanskrit word. He was very influenced by the Sanskrit also. Eka is one after. So this is Eka boron. This position is my Eka aluminium, and this position, my after titanium, is Eka silicon. I am writing it here also, Eka silicon. The point of reference is here. So this position, Eka boron, this is Eka aluminium, and this is after titanium, this is Eka silicon, one after silicon. And later on, everyone appreciated him because he was correct. There were elements that is going to fill to those places. And which are those elements, students? If I talk about this position, Eka boron, so that is scandium. After calcium, nowadays we study an element called as scandium. So this is my SC, scandium. What about Eka aluminium? After aluminium, the element we study is gallium. So Eka aluminium is my gallium. This is my gallium. This is my scandium. And this Eka silicon that came after silicon got a name G. That is germanium. Okay. So he discovered 3 new elements, gave some general name. Not discovered, but gave some general name. The elements can cover up those spaces. Later on, they discovered and got their actual name. Scandium, gallium, and germanium were those elements. Isn't it awesome? That's so correct. And I told you in the starting that we were reading the masses of beryllium, the masses of gold and platinum. Absolutely wrong. And he is the one scientist who made it absolutely correct. And how he did that, students, let me tell you. The mass of beryllium he corrected from 13 to 9.5. We were reading it all wrong. Okay. Same with aurum, my gold and platinum, as well as indium also. If I show you the table, here is my gold. Earlier the mass we were reading is 196.2. Now he corrected to 197. Platinum we were reading to 197. He corrected to 195. So he changed so many things on the basis of his gut feeling and his experience that these elements should be arranged in such a way. You were doing wrong. You are doing a wrong job. But there were so many points where he was wrong. First of all, position of hydrogen. I should say that problem is still the same. Even in the table that we study nowadays has this problem. Position of hydrogen is written here. Let me show you again. It's here in the group 1, but basically it is also having the property of this group 7. which does not make any sense. How can someone will be at the two places at the same time? So they are asking why only group 1, why not group 7, because they are going to follow the property with fluorine, chlorine also. So that is one of the reason. Apart from that, if I talk about no explanation for the cause of periodicity also, that why elements are repeating, why elements are going to have similar kind of a property after a certain interval, what's the actual cause behind it, he could not talk about that. Apart from that, increase in atomic mass is also not regular. He was also wrong at so many places. What was that? Look at this. Cobalt and nickel, clearly cobalt is having a mass of 58.9, nickel is having a mass of 58.7. He only told that mass should be in increasing order, but he made the mistake here also. But the order is correct, but somehow mass does not follow the same kind of a criteria that must be followed. And a very important point where he was wrong is what? He told that the element should be arranged in terms of increasing atomic mass. But if you try to arrange all the elements in increasing atomic mass, students, then what about isotopes? That's the main concept where he is like got the biggest disadvantage. You know that most of the elements has isotope. Same element can have different masses, be it my carbon C12, C13, C14, be it my nitrogen 14, nitrogen 15, be it my chlorine, which is like a very famous example. So if the element should be arranged in increasing atomic mass, then you have to repeat the elements C12, C13, C14. But does it make sense? No, that should be at the same slot because element is the same. So that's the very big drawback he got, and the drawback was absolutely taken care of with this scientist. His name is Henry Mosley. In 1913, he gave a law that changed our view of looking at the classification of elements. He is the one who gave a very important law. What's that law, students? He is the one who discovered the concept of atomic number. He is the scientist who discovered atomic number. Understand? He told my number of protons is like a unique property. My number of proton is like a unique property of each and every element that can never be changed. Suppose I'm talking about my any element, proton is something that is present deep seated in my nucleus, right? That cannot be lost, that cannot be gained. Number of protons for each and every element can never be changed. So if I talk about suppose any 5 elements, they must be having different set of protons. That means different atomic number. No 2 elements can have same atomic number. So our problem is solved. No repetition will going to occur on basis of mass that was happening earlier. So he is the one who got that major breakthrough that the elements are going to follow the order of increasing atomic number, and when you arrange them in the order of increasing atomic number, what you will see, there will be a repetition in its properties, and that property repetition is basically due to following the same kind of electronic configuration. Same kind of electronic configuration. Because see how beautifully he thought of all the things. If I got to know about my number of proton, number of electron is also similar to that. If I know about my number of proton, if I know my atomic number, I must be knowing its electron, because in an atom number of proton and electron is same. If I know my number of electron, I can draw its electronic configuration and can talk about the valence electron present in it. I can write its configuration. I can write the number of electron in each and every orbit. And if I can do the same job, my problem is done. Because we will see when I'm trying to arrange the elements, so many elements fall together in what way? They must be having same valence electron, same number of electron in their last shell, and the problem is solved. Table we got so beautiful because all the elements were arranged in such a way that all the groups are having same number of valence electron. So he gave the modern periodic law, students. He didn't design the table. Who designed the table? Niels Bohr is the one who designed the table with the help of J.B. Bury. Okay, he gave some rule together, and then that was a very important thing to arrange the table. So Niels Bohr took the consideration of Henry Mosley. he made the table in terms of increasing atomic number. Bohr and Bury gave certain rules that should be taken care of, like elements should be arranged in what way. They should follow 2n square rule, where n is my number of orbit. The number of electrons that can be fulfilled in any particular element should be on the basis of the orbit present inside it. So number of orbit is what we should know. And then octet rule follow. The octet rule must be followed over there. Fine. So how he got the table and how our table looks like, it looks like this. So beautiful picture. And in his picture there were 18 groups, 18 vertical column and 7 periods. It was so beautifully designed on the basis of increasing atomic number, and all the group which I can see is going to have same number of valence electron, which is so beautifully arranged. We still have to talk about this table in detail. What are the drawbacks? What are the good part about this table? Definitely not here, because what will we do in the next session? We will have to talk about that part, that what are the good part, how I can talk about any of the position of the element, where my magnesium is arranged in this entire table, I can decide. Where my phosphorus is present in the entire table, I can decide. So ma'am will tell you how to define, how to know the position of every element in this table, how the property changes when you move in this period, horizontal row and a vertical column. Isn't it amazing? So see, we got to know so many details. I hope this session is super duper clear in your mind, that why do we need to classify the elements and how the periodic table has evolved with the time. In next class, we'll talk about all the features of my modern periodic table with the talk of how the properties changes in a period and a group. As I told that all the amazing sessions you can see on our beautiful platform called as Vedantu. You just have to visit the code. Why this is so important? Because all the sessions, as I told you, is quiz centric, student centric, and definitely going to give you so much of growth in your curriculum, in your personality also. You will feel the change, you will feel positive, because you will see that how you are growing and doing better. So you just have to select your grade, select your target, get subscription, and select your subscription for 1 month, 3 months and 6 months with Anubha Ma'am's code AGPRO to avail the maximum discount. So hope you liked this session, hope you enjoyed it as well. So what you have to do, appreciate the efforts of your master teachers. Hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do it, because it's so important. We all are doing it just because of you. And do reach out to me on my email ID in case of any query, anubha.kaur@vedantu.com. Ma'am will meet you again with the same josh and energy, with all amazing facts as well. Till then, I am signing it off. Please take care of yourself. Be safe. Keep studying at Vedantu. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.